Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And I am here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our environment. And if we want to shift and into new experiences, we do need to go within and kind of dig and find where our energy is blocked by limiting beliefs, things like that. Shine a light on them, integrate them, and shift into a better energy that will allow us to receive what it is that we desire. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Let's take a look. We're going to start with Divine Feminine since she was showing almost all of her cards today, and Divine Masculine, not so much. All right. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for Divine Feminine is the Four of Wands in reverse. So she is thinking about sacred union. This is a card. This is from the Fountain Tarot. And in this image, we get kind of this like celebration party thing happening on the beach here. We're usually associating this card with like a marriage bower, and there's people celebrating some kind of union. And it's about having a solid foundation, a solid, stable emotional foundation too, like for your relationships, the ability to communicate, etc. So the thing that I'm feeling from her is that she's thinking a lot about how well, first of all, she really would like to experience this, like to have reason to celebrate, to feel the sacred union that she keeps hearing about message wise from me and from other readers. And like, oh, the union is here. And she's like, fuck your union. Like, what do you mean? Like, oh, okay, I'm there's union inside of myself. Great. Well, did I come here to just experience myself alone, or did I come here to experience other people and like do shit with other people and like physically have 3D experiences? Or did I just come here to be like completely united inside of myself? Like, yeah. So like she's just like, I don't care, kind of a little bit. And I think there's also fear of this experience not happening for her. And there's got to be, if that's the case, there's got to be some element here where she's working to release limiting fears about her ability to have this physical union that she desires. This is also associated with twin flame energy because of the two wands with this like 1111 thing. I did a post last night and I was like, it was 1111. Exactly. So there's also kind of here, I think, a resistance to, or maybe a consideration of, or reflection upon, or frustration with twin flame journey stuff. So either if you're new to the collective, you're just learning about this, and I'm sorry for you. And if you've been here for a minute, this is something that you're kind of like sick of hearing about or don't want to be a part of sometimes, but sometimes you do, and it's all very confusing. I feel like there's something else that I'm not saying or that's not coming to me. Well, maybe it'll come as I keep reading. I feel like there's some other thing that's she's thinking about in regards to this Four of Wands, but that was a lot already. She had a lot on her mind. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is the devil in reverse. So she's still maintaining this work on releasing the ego. So the fears and anxieties that she's got about commitment or marriage or whether this is going to happen or not, whether she's going to be able to celebrate, it's like she's like, okay, you're afraid of that. So what? So what? So what? Are you going to let that stop you? Are you going to let that keep you from being in your emotional mastery, in your power, keep you from working, keep you from being patient? No. She's like, no. underlying everything, even these concerns about whether or not she gets to experience a celebration or not, um, she's just like, I know that it really doesn't matter. It's just, I just would like it. Okay. You know, she's like, is that so much? Just like, can I have it? Like, I know it's going to happen. And I know that it doesn't matter if it does, but also at the same time, like, you put the desire there for me. So then, can it just happen? But not to appease my ego at this point. Just for the pure satisfaction of the completion at this point. The first thing on her mind is the Queen of Cups. So again, she feels emotional mastery here. And the Queen of Cups is in her heart space. She's very heart centered and psychic and sensitive, compassionate. This is like a nurturing energy. We were seeing the Queen of Cups a lot in its reversal, um, which has like overprotective, overbearing, over emotive quality or energy. Um, and now it's upright. So it's like as she's released her ego, which was the thing that was really keeping her in this shadow for Queen of Cups, she stepped into the light. Now she can navigate the darker emotions. She can kind of float above like these fears and anxieties that are part of, it's like you're not ever going to be free of these things. You just get better at coexisting with them. And because you get better at coexisting with your fears and worries and anxieties, you don't feed them as much detail. And so your experience smooth out a bit. But you're still going to have contrast. You're not going to like wake up and be like, "Oh, no, I'm perfect." Perfection is just, like a bento box. Like that it's are you a bento box? Like I don't think so. So it's just sort of like there's always going to be egos, fears, and worries that are going to like make you want to protect yourself or protect yourself from receiving or anything that you're worried could be problematic for you. But there's a sense here that you've achieved emotional mastery where you receive emotions about which give you information about your fears and anxieties, and then you navigate through them without losing your balance, without drowning. And the next thing on her mind is the Emperor. So she's feeling stubborn right now, but she's in the light too. This is like she's stubbornly fixated on a divine masculine energy. She senses her power. She's like, if I have this power, he must have this power. I just saw 7:44 and we just rolled over to 8 minutes. I must have this power too. And or he must have this power too if I have this power. So she's like aware. There's also this desire to have a lot of loving compassion for divine masculine energy right now. It's like she's understanding how, if I stay in a place of frustration because somebody isn't doing something I want, that's my ego demanding that things be done the way that I need them to be done. There's a balance between receiving what I need and what matches my worthiness and placing demands upon someone. So rather than be demanding, she's being heart centered and being understanding and compassionate of the reasons why divine masculine is very rigid and stubborn and protective. She's like, all right, I'm going to be sensitive to this and sensitive to this divine masculine's needs because it's a mirror. If my divine feminine energy is in emotional mastery, able to be compassionate, caring, and loving for this masculine energy inside of myself, then the divine masculine heart centered energy is going to do the same within himself. He's going to have compassion, kindness, and sensitivity to himself and his reasons. He's going to have that kind of ability to navigate his emotions and stay in balance with his power. And she knows that that will be a healing experience and that it will improve the chances of the Four of Wands shifting upright. The next thing on her mind is the Five of Wands in reverse. So this is, you know, to see the Queen of Cups, who's compassionate and loving, and followed by the Emperor, and then this card to me is a feeling, a very strong feeling of like, I will not fight with this Emperor energy. I will not struggle against this Emperor energy, this power and control. Not only my own power and control, I won't fight it. I will let it rest there and like be active within me. But from divine masculine, I will not fight this power and control. I'm going to be sensitive in this Queen of Cups energy and let my emotions guide me, and honestly be kind of psychic about this Emperor who's silent at this point. I'm not hearing communication from him yet, but I am not going to fight this energy or fight against this energy in any way, because I deeply desire to work with this energy. This is the Three of Cups, sorry, Three of Coins in this deck, but Three of Pentacles in reverse, clarifying the Queen of Cups. So there's not yet collaboration between this queen and this emperor, which does make divine feminine feel defeated, but she's refusing to accept defeat. She's thinking, well, if he's not going to work with me, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to work solo. I really do want to work with him, but if he's not going to work with me, there's really nothing I can do about it. I will work on my own. I will work on my own. I have been solo for a long time, but I'm going to remain heart centered in that energy. And it's also an indication to me that she has an awareness that she has done a lot of work on her self care, filling that cup, which is giving her the trust and the freedom to be like, well, he might not work with me, but I'm going to work on my own. And I know that it's going to be fine. Because the next thing is patience, nurturing, care. And this is what is clarifying the Emperor. So she is being patient. She might have woken up today and been like, seriously? Wow, that's a clear message from you. But then she quickly centered into her heart space and was like, all right, I'm not ready to express. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to tend to myself. I'm going to tend to the solo work that I need to do. Since you're not working with me right now, being stubborn, you're being rigid about it, you're maintaining this illusion, because baby, it's an illusion of control. You will never be able to control this queen. She's her own emperor. So you can have your illusion of control over the situation right now. That's fine. She's being patient. She's like, okay. But you want to know what? The reason I'm being patient is because I have nurtured and cared for my own cup. And I know that your shadow that you are in this King of Cups energy, where you do not have the ability to express, she's like, I know that this will not defeat me. I will not be emotionally defeated by this. This will not take me out of my mastery. Her mastery is to be able to navigate emotions and express them. The King of Cups is in command of his emotions, but he doesn't express them. He's in command of actually not expressing when it's important not to reveal things like that. So he's able to protect his emotions. When he's in this state, he's not able to protect his emotions. He's not able to protect anyone from how he feels. In fact, it kind of pours out willy-nilly without much maturity when this happens. But divine feminine is not going to be defeated by this. She's like, no, I won't be defeated. I know that I'm going to hear from this divine masculine an outpouring of love. I know that I will, because I have that mastery of my emotions, and I'm sensitive and I'm patient. and I'm releasing my ego in regards to this. So it's also not going to, it's not going to validate me. It's not going to increase me. It's not really going to, it's going to make me feel happiness because it will be um, like the material clarification of something I already know. But at this point, it's not even going to be that turbulent for me to experience it. It's just going to be like, I know, I know. And it's okay. The top of the deck for the heart space overall feeling is the Six of Swords, upright, transitions, moving on, um, using the struggle and strife that you've experienced as lessons that propel you from where you were to where you want to be. There's uncertainty here. There's a sense that she does not know where she's going. Um, and because she doesn't know where she's going, the niggling feeling in her heart space is the Queen of Swords in reverse. And we got our girl here with her thigh tattoo. She is a fierce queen, and she normally has a clear head. She's very discerning. She's has like a clarity and follow through. She can command, armies. But when we're in her shadow, we're seeing her being defensive, again, overprotective, overly cautious, overthinking. Like her thoughts are kind of out of control, and she's needing to kind of come into the light traits of the queen to control her thoughts. She might not have a strategy. That's the other thing too. It's like there's the Six of Swords here, and we're heading to this next place, but there's no clear strategy for when and how that's going to happen. This is resonating with me a lot because I was preparing one thing. I had one thing in my mind that I was going to move in to a certain place, and I'm not going to move there now. So it's this feeling of like, well, it's we're moving, but we don't know where, and we're kind of thinking. We don't have a strategy. We don't really have a plan, and maybe we're like trying not to think too much about it because we know that might kill it, but we feel this movement happening. The first thing in the heart space is lovely. It is the Princess of Swords or the Page of Swords energy. And we see the word curiosity written here on the field tarot, which looks so lovely against my fountain tarot. I just love it. And we're seeing that divine feminine is feeling courageous. She's feeling brave enough to pick up a sword and wield it, even though she has not done this before. She's feeling determined to do that too. And there's a sense here that she feels like she does want more training, but she's willing to take a look inside, to take a look at the headspace, take a look at the heart space, to kind of, I guess, if we see her being sort of unwilling or trying not to think too much, we see her trying to counter that energy, which is underlying in her heart space, and just be more like, no, just be curious, okay? Right now you feel calm. Like right now you feel like you can just sort of tread water. And then, let's be a little bit curious about what is making that happen. What is giving you this feeling? And the thing that is giving her this feeling is that she's brave enough to release her attachment, because here's the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And it says on its stability. But in its reverse, it doesn't mean in this context there's not stability. Quite the contrary. We know there's stability because the headspace has the most stable card in the deck in right smack dab in the center. So this is a stable energy. So we're not looking at her feeling unstable. We are absolutely looking at her releasing her attachment or her hold on this Emperor energy. Now, I could have chosen the Mystic Mondays deck, which has an Emperor that has like something attached to its back. But this morning, I felt called to do my Fountain and Field Tarot. So we're looking at the images that energetically I was subconsciously pulled towards today in order to illustrate the difference between the Divine Feminine that we looked at on Monday morning and this Divine Feminine today, who is now not attached to this specific iteration. She feels that this is a stable energy in her life and that there is a masculine worth energy here in this person, but it's truly not being attached to that person, that she is being brave enough to be curious about, explore, or actually fully relinquish this attachment. The next card we're seeing is the Four of Cups upright, clarifying this Five of Wands in reverse. So capturing this energy of this feeling of struggle and battle and not wanting to accept defeat, in regards to this Emperor energy that is being quite stubborn with her. She's feeling that she's that the struggle kind of also too, like the struggle might be over, and the block that was this divine masculine energy has been removed. Like she's unblocked because she's released this attachment. And because of this, we're grounding this energy. She's no longer trapped in her fantasy and her dreams. She's now wanting to ground this energy, unblock, and see a real world manifestation. This 3D energy, though, that hasn't quite fully materialized is being clarified by this Three of Cups in reverse. So I have to point out here that there is this feeling that her ability to work together with divine masculine is being blocked by third party energy, and she doesn't know what the third party energy is. But it is preventing her from being able to celebrate, from being able to reunite with the divine masculine energy and work together and enter into partnership. And she's being patient with what she doesn't know right now. Here's the Seven of Swords. So to get the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Seven of Swords, which we know divine feminine has issues with third party energy and worrying about it, fearing it, whatever, we're actually seeing, I'm not seeing a fixation here on like, oh, there's a third party, blah, blah, blah. It's actually more of an acceptance that the blockage, a third party blockage, comes from her own sort of fantasies, like her own sort of dream world and her own escape that she has been engaging in. Like she wants to unblock the things that she's put into her cups. But and I think also there's this element of surprise that's coming here too. We see a divine masculine actually doing the nurturing in the Seven of Pentacles. So it's like divine feminine is feeling like he's doing something behind the scenes. Like he's working on something. He's nurturing something. She really does trust in this. And she feels that he's having to keep it secret or hidden because of third party energy. And then the overfeeling in the heart space, clarifying this King of Cups in reverse, is the Two of Wands, which in this deck says planning, and the Hierophant, which is the sacred marriage card in the deck. So we're getting divine feminine feeling like this King of Cups is preparing, is planning to express, is planning to offer marriage. We're also seeing that part of the twin flame journey, there's another twin flame card for them. She's accepting that she's asked a higher power for something like marriage or partnership or a King of Cups or whatever, or to hear from this king or to hear an expression of love from this person. She's asked for it, and all she can do is wait for that higher power to bring her what it is that she desires. And through her meditation and contemplation, connecting with nature, this is what is helping her to unblock so that she can receive this desire that she has, which she is carrying around and thinking about all the time, to be able to come into this sacred union. So that's divine feminine. Divine masculine. Let's look at you. I feel exhausted. Okay. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for divine masculine. Fuck! It's the Five of Pentacles. Son of a bitch. I hate it. I hate this card. I have to embrace the light of this card, but it's hard for my ego too, so my ego needs to get the fuck out of here. Divine Masculine. You are just not choosing to bring Divine Feminine out of the Five of Pentacles or to bring yourself out of the Five of Pentacles. You know that this is causing the Divine Feminine to feel like that, but you just will not choose to end this. So the forefront of your mind is thinking about being in the cold, not being able to be a part of Divine Feminine's world, not being able to have Divine Feminine be a part of your world, all the responsibilities that you're trying to juggle, her feeling like she's not going to be able to handle it or understand it, or whatever machinations that you think about that you keep juggling back and forth. This decision, like, do I talk to her? Do I not talk to her? Do I bring her out of this cold? Do I not bring her out of the cold? Will she accept me? Will she won't accept me? Do I have enough? Do I not have enough? And it's just like back and forth, and you've got a lot of responsibilities, very heavy burden of this choice. Because right now, this is your problem. Divine Feminine did not have the Five of Pentacles. So you feel this heavy responsibility because it's your choice to keep the union like this. And you just keep choosing it. The first thing on your mind, we already saw in Divine Feminine's heart space, except she was releasing her attachment. You, however, are holding firmly to your attachments, and those include external validation. You feel like you have a solid foundation, a strong foundation. I see that. But there's also potentially a feminine energy that's clinging to your finances as well, or making you feel like your finances are at risk or there's a lack here, or that juggling like this old energy and this new energy. But this is also Pentacles energy, so the overall things you're thinking about are the reality of the material reality of the situation. Next thing on your mind after the Four of Pentacles is the Six of Cups, which is about the reunion, but it's also about past energy. It's about being stuck in the past. The Four of Pentacles upright, this card and the next card, which is the Hanged Man, is you being stuck in the past. This is the past. This is why I had to kick my ego the fuck out of me, because this is boring. I'm snoring right now at this. I'm snoring at this spread. Two of Pentacles upright, Four of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Hanged Man, 10 of Wands in reverse. We have no movement here because Divine Masculine will not put this burden down. He will not share it with Divine Feminine. He doesn't want to worry her with his problem of this feminine energy that is attached to him. He doesn't want to talk to her about it. He doesn't want to communicate to her about it. He doesn't want to put this burden on her. He thinks it's too heavy of a burden. He's not putting it down. He won't do it. He's going to stay in the Hanged Man energy, where he gains this perspective that, divine feminine energy, this feminine energy leaves him out to dry, and he's got to figure out why. Why does this happen to me? He's fixated in the present right now on the past. There is also potentially children from another marriage that he is still attached to, that there's like a juggling. There could be custody things. That's resonating for me, truly, this custody thing I'm going through personally. But it's like being stuck, being in this pause, needing more perspective because he doesn't know how to unburden himself. He just doesn't know how to do this. The next thing on his mind is strength, clarifying the Six of Cups. So he's thinking about the strong connection, the eternal connection that they have. Um, he's also trying to control his pride and ego, and he's he's feeling like everything they have between them is so strong that, I mean, I guess he's hoping that. The next card is impatience. It is temperance in its reverse. And it's clarifying the hanged man. So he's impatient with God. He's impatient with this process. He's feeling like, how many times do I have to get fucking perspective? Like, will I ever be in balance? Will there ever be a sense that there is balance here? Um, he's also really afraid of divine feminine's impatience. He's hoping that their connection is strong enough to outlast his inability to make this decision because of the burden of his responsibilities. The first thing in his heart space, the top of the deck, is the death card in reverse. So he's resisting some kind of an ending. He's resisting, with the Four of Pentacles upright, he's resisting letting go of something, letting something die so that something new can be reborn. Um, he's also really, really desiring a rebirth of a connection, but this Five of Pentacles, keeping divine feminine out, it's not over. He can't end this. Like, he cannot end this. The niggling feeling in his heart space is this Ace of Pentacles, which is this wonderful, solid, stable offer of abundance, and it's nourishing. Um it's underlying everything. He feels so strongly that he wants to give this offer, that he wants to choose, because it's clarifying this card, choose to give this offer, but he's not doing it. Here we have the Five of Swords, and this is from the Tattoo Tarot. We were just looking at the Housewives Tarot. This is clarifying the Four of Pentacles. So he's still in some kind of a battle over his property, over what belongs to him. There's still some kind of a fight over what belongs to feminine energy, what belongs to him. There's also like secrets about it. This is a really interesting image. There's like, I'm just looking at it closely because this is a newer deck for me. There's those hands there at the bottom of the staircase. And there are these different points in time where these experiences have taken place. It's all been about the I, right? About like the ego's attachments, serving the I, the self, which caused a lot of pain to the aspect of the self that is ignored. So he's still fighting for what is his. And he will persevere. Here's the Nine of Wands. Now, this is the Tattoo Tarot deck that I have, has multiple versions of a few of the cards because this was the very first drawing in the deck. So when I pull this card, it has, of course, the meaning of the Nine of Wands, but it carries with it the journey of this deck, which is that this is really the magician in the position, the position of the Fool. Technically, one is the magician, but it's in the position of the Fool because it was the very first drawing that she made. She went on to use different techniques and alter the drawing in the end to match the other cards in their imagery more. But to get the earlier version of the card suggests that he is healing from past wounds, and it clarifies the Six of Cups. So it's even more emphasis to me that this, what he's persevering against, or or the wounds he's received, this is not a present third party energy that we're looking at. We are looking at what has happened to him in the past, regarding his past. He was in that battle over that Four of Pentacles, over his money, over his property, over his, it could even be like how he's perceived in the world, the way people externally view him or whatever. He's received these deep wounds, possibly inner child wounds. It's like there's the feeling here that while there may be some kind of like battles over property, etc., there also may have been this earlier wound, which was a literally a battle for his own body, his own autonomy over his own body, owning himself. Someone violated him in some way where his ownership of self was taken from him. So he's had to persevere through these wounds that he received, because you can't give yourself to someone else if you feel someone took your power long, long ago. And he's persevered through that and fought that battle to have an understanding about what has happened to him. Thank God. And now we're seeing the Two of Pentacles in reverse. I'm telling you that fucking Two of Pentacles upright. I was like, no. So his head might be having a hard time making the choice. His heart is not. His heart is not having a hard time making this choice. His head is. He's battling himself. This, do I do this? Do I not do this? I don't know. But his heart is like, you have to choose. The perspective that he gains when he hangs himself upside down and looks at the world through divine feminine's eyes, he sees that this that his wounds, that their wounds matched each other perfectly, and that he chose this journey, he chose this experience with every single feminine that he's had, not just the divine feminine, but all the karmics. Like everything is kind of becoming clear to him. It's like, oh, I chose this because of the wounds I had when I had received when I was young. This resistance to putting down his burden, his heart space, is really countering this. The Knight of Cups in reverse is just telling me that he is having a hard time receiving. He is really desiring to pour the cup out completely. Good morning, Jason. Thank you. I'm well. I hope you're well too. So he is really wanting to put down the burden and communicate and finally clean up these messes. But his heart space is a little bit uncertain about its ability to receive. I think also he just has a lot, he's resisting experiencing the sadness and emotion of ending this attachment to this past energy. He's really resisting the way that it feels to have to put down something to end this, because even though he really wants to put down this responsibility that he has, it's like when he does that, he's going to experience this death. And he doesn't want to feel the feelings. He doesn't feel strong enough to navigate how painful it will be to experience this ending that will happen, express apologies to somebody who he's kept out in the cold for so long. There's a lot of fear here about this Knight of Cups process. He also doesn't want to be wishy-washy. He's wanting to come in and express and stick around. He doesn't want to be wishy-washy. The Strength card is being clarified by the Eight of Cups. So he wants to be strong enough to walk away. He wants to believe that he's strong enough to walk away from the past and to finally put an end, make an ending here to these experiences that stem from these wounds that he's now healed. So he wants to go towards his higher calling. But he's impatient with himself because here's that Page of Wands energy that we saw coming up on Sunday with Grace Strega, where we're seeing this clever fox energy, this trickster energy. It's immature too. He's impatient with himself, with his immaturity, with his I think also there's with not being able to maintain temperance, not being able to maintain balance. All right, let's take a look now at the oracles and sexual energy. All right, divine feminine. For the sexual energy, I use the Sluttist tarot, and if we're not talking about a physical union, if we are not talking about that, if you're here for another reason like career, etc., you can just think about this as your creative energy, because sexual energy is inherently creative energy, the desire, the inspiration to get turned on by something, stimulated by something that stimulates your senses and makes you want to pursue it to its climax, right? You can think about sexual energy like that. Divine Feminine, you are getting 2 cards today for your sexual energy, and we're seeing a repeat card. This Princess of Swords, here it is in your sexual energy too. Curiosity. This is a really wonderful thing to bring into creativity. To have Page of Swords energy is excellent. It's curiosity about things you haven't done before, places you haven't gone before, people you haven't been with before. It's the sort of confidence that even though you don't have the training of the night, you actually have the ability to just go for it anyway and learn and practice and try to make the best of it. What's interesting is that the other card that came out for you is the 10 of Swords, which you might be, some of us might be curious about a little bit of pain, experiencing some pain. But there's also, too, with the 10 of Swords, we're seeing things being stuck or pinned down in some way. So, Divine Feminine, you might be wanting to see an ending to not getting to experience physical connection. Like if there's been separation here, you might actually have only been experiencing physical connection or sexual energy alone. And there's a desire here for that to be over. You're curious about what's going to come next after this energy of that was kind of painful, like being on your own. You're curious about what's coming in this next phase for you. And what's interesting is that this is a progression, right? What follows the 10 of Swords, but the Page of Swords. So it's like this is where you were. You were alone. You were in possibly a breakup energy. You were separated from the part of yourself that is creative. That sexual energy was sort of, you were stuck. Maybe you felt blocked creatively, like a writer's block type of thing. But you're progressing now to this next stage, which is a curiosity about exploring what is coming next. And for some, you might be interested in a little bit of, like, maybe a little spank or something. Whatever floats your boat, man. No judgment here. I'm a Leo with a Pisces rising. You ain't going to find any judgment here, girl. All right. The first archetype or the archetype for you today, you only got one today. You're in the light attributes of the storyteller, which is the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. And you're no longer making up tales that harm others. So when we make up tales that harm others, what we're really doing is kind of telling stories about why we think the things that are happening, the reasons why things are happening. And those stories usually cause us to become overly defensive or cutting, or it's too sensitive, whatever. And it can harm other people because we will, make assumptions and all kinds of things. But you're in the light of this. You're not doing that. You're in the best traits of the storyteller. So you're not using your brain to like think your relationship to death. You're actually telling stories that you want to be reading, like it's stories you want to read. And you're really good right now at expressing life through stories and symbols. So that sexual energy, the creative energy, the Ten of Swords, progressing into this Princess of Swords energy is you can take that curiosity now, that coming unblocked, and really begin to express. Saint Catherine is here in regards to marriage energy, and we can't ignore the fact that she was in reverse, and so was your Four of Wands, and you also got the Hierophant. So Saint Catherine is here to help you heal from past marriages, to help you prepare for new sacred union. I think to give you a reverence for the sacramental aspects of marriage as well, because there's a fear of legal commitments here, because of what happened in your past. So, St. Catherine is helping you to heal those fears and anxieties you have in regards to your ability to receive a marriage proposal, enter into marriage, completely leave the last marriage, anything that might be in regards to that energy. You are getting confidence, and not all of these cards have angels on them, but they chose to put an angel on this, so we're going to assume that this is the Archangel Michael, since he's the one who helps with confidence. This was in its reverse, so there's an emphasis. There's an emphasis on confidence. There's an emphasis here on your needing to remain confident and call on that skill that you have, because you do actually have this within you. You've got the emperor in your headspace. So, bitch, you are really able to feel confident. Do not feel overconfident. Remember, there's like cocky and then arrogant, and then there's like confident, which is a deep trust in your gifts and abilities, which come from God. So your confidence is in God, right? Not you so much. Make sure that the ego is checked, because your next card is don't let pride get in your way. And it is the full moon in Leo, and it is emphasizing confidence, right? But it's also exactly what I just said. Do not let your confidence turn into arrogance or cockiness. Let it be coming from a place that is trust in God, not you. You're the vessel. You're just here for it. There's the higher power that's doing everything. Don't concern yourself so much about how great you are. Accept that your greatness comes through your worthiness, which comes from God, right? And you just get that automatically. You're not special. There's all a bunch of other people, and everyone is just as special as you are in their own damn way. So don't get too excited about it. Be in your confidence without being a dick. All right. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. So right now you should have confidence that you are being helped and assisted, that you're not doing this alone, and that there's a divine plan that is taking place, and you can surrender to that higher authority in regards to this journey that you are on. You're also getting vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted. And we'll read it today because we haven't seen it in a minute. And I think I didn't read it last time. But We're getting the oracle message, which is what seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial. You are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co create something far better. This is the miracle in your partnership with Spirit. Lovely. Alrighty, let's look at Divine Masculine's oracles. All right, Divine Masculine sexual energy today is not surprising. We're getting the Eight of Swords. And we have in that energy, um, he's protecting himself from intimacy. So he's not into it right now. He's not feeling able to express his sexual energy with anyone but himself. He's inside of himself. When we have this blindfold on in the Eight of Swords or the Two of Swords, it is about being focused within. In the Two of Swords, you go within because you have a decision that you don't want to make. And so you're looking to your higher power to help you make the decision. In the Eight of Swords, you're blinding yourself from what you're doing to keep yourself from experiencing pleasure. So Divine Masculine is needing to become aware that he is currently preventing himself from experiencing the pleasure of creativity. He's not creating something new. He's continuing to cycle through an old pattern, and he's protecting himself from his sexuality because of past wounds that he's received that he's needing to heal. So the reason he is experiencing sort of a disconnect where he experiences sexual desire that he tries to suppress and he doesn't understand why he tries to suppress it. It's because he's really being blind to the fact that those inner child wounds are so severe that they actually keep him from enjoying sexual pleasure. And I feel a lot of compassion for that because that is me. And for Divine Feminine, it's interesting to have that Ten of Swords, which is that painful, like there's aspects of sexuality that are painful for her, but still curious, still able to take what is painful from the wounds she also received because they're a match to each other and allow herself to be curious. Divine Masculine is still afraid. And that's why they're not together. Divine Masculine, you are in the light attributes of mother energy, which is nurturance, patience, unconditional love, and a joy in giving birth to life. So you're not smothering or abandoning children or instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. You're not being overbearing. You're not being overprotective. You're being very nurturing and patient. And consequently, you're receiving the same consideration from the Divine Feminine, who is literally countering this card from you, which let me tell you what you're a match to. You are in deception and not completely being honest, right? Divine Feminine is completely patient with this. You better be thanking your lucky stars. I'm telling you right now. Better be fucking grateful, man, that she has the ability to remain connected to spirit, because it is only by the grace of God that I don't murder you right now. For real. If my ego was driving the chariot, I would be like, fuck you, I'm never talking to you again. So painful. But I'm not there because I have surrendered my ego, and I understand that that is just trying to protect me from the intimacy that I want to receive. So the mothering energy that divine masculine is in towards himself, towards divine feminine, he's seeing it reflected back to him. And it is lovely, isn't it? Patience and nurturing feels so good. You are then getting this guide today, St. Nicholas of Myra, also known as Sinterklaas. He is here to help you be more generous. You received the Six of Cups upright, which is a card about generosity and benevolence, gift giving. And so it's this energy of support in being as generous as you possibly can right now with those around you. You're also getting the Holy Spirit, bro, and peace. I think you feel like there isn't a lot of peace right now. You've got that Five of Swords. You're still going back and forth trying to make a choice. You've got to walk away. You've got to end something. There's death here. But ultimately, peace is just one deep breath away. Your commitment is being tested. I want you to pass, divine masculine. I want you to pass this test. So just say yes. And what do you want to say yes to? Well, Three of Cups celebration, reunion. But this crumbling, you need to say yes to what it is that you need to release. You need to release the emotions and the burden that is on you right now. I see very strongly that everything that has happened for you, you could fill in the blanks right now. There could be a person, there could be a real life material world situation that you currently need to release. There could be a part like an ex-partner. There could be this, there could be that. But what really needs to be released is the trauma, the emotions, the like the outpouring of emotion that came from the sexual trauma that you experienced. Whether that was a real physical trauma or energetic, you are clinging to those wounds. You're clinging to a feeling of defeat in regards to them, like you were so broken that you can't be whole. But transformation is beautiful. And this was the card at the bottom of the deck today that when I went to look at it, because I remember because I was looking for gifts for my brother, and so I was looking at different oracle cards, and this is the 11 card also. And I noticed this commentary, like I was reading reviews of different decks, and I read in this review this person who described the process of what card readers do, which he said card readers are like card counter, like the people that count cards, like at a in Vegas or whatever, that they have a subconscious awareness of the position of every card in the deck because they develop this familiarity with the deck. They've shuffled it so many times and they know intuitively the order of the deck. So when you actually are reading and you're shuffling and cards pop out, or you shuffle all the cards and you're a person who pulls them from the top, however it is that you draw, yours basically your subconscious knows where every single card is in this deck, and then it pulls it when it's appropriate, which for me, I don't need a scientific explanation for. That's God. But this person did. But when I read it like that, I was like, oh, wow, maybe I should actually start trying to count cards in Vegas if that's what I'm doing, because my math is shit. So I don't know if I would be actually good at that, but so when I looked at that deck and I saw this was on the bottom of the deck, I thought to myself, just by seeing that card on the bottom of the deck, how does my subconscious know where it is? Because the ones I start shuffling, like, and then it popped out. So I'm just like, oh my God, okay. I don't understand this. You're getting the oracle message today. Joy and the beautiful lightness of being alive and creative in the world is the focus when butterfly spirit flutters before you. Transformation is inevitable as you grow into your most beautiful, empowered self. Indeed, you will go through some uncomfortable stages as you let go of the forms of your life that no longer fit the new you. Even relationships must go through shifts to match your new emerging self. If you focus on the beauty and not the challenges, stop taking yourself too seriously and choose to be playful, loving, and joyous. You will soon know the miracle your soul wants to experience through you. Today is a day for joy. So alight, look around, and see the beauty that is everywhere and in everyone, including you. All right. For the union. Oh, I like this. The sexual energy for the two of you that you are in union about is the sun. So you have enlightenment in regards to your sexual energy. You have enlightenment in regards to this fears of intimacy that we've talked about today. There's happiness, there's bliss, and the coming together of the two of you is this healing of the inner child because the original imagery from the sun card is of a little child. So it's like you're through this process, through this experience of this pain and releasing this pain and becoming curious about your sexuality again, through this awareness of your fear of intimacy that's causing you to protect yourself, withhold your sexual energy from someone else because of your fears about what will happen to you. There is healing for the both of you in these experiences. You're both in the light attributes of the gambler right now, which is like fool energy. It's willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. So you are really just trusting yourselves right now, trusting your higher self, trusting in God. And to get the sun card and optimism just seems very lovely. Your guardian angel is here to support you right now in optimism. Stay optimistic. You're both healing these wounds. You're both taking care, you're tuning in. There's union with it across the spread. There's union from head and heart here. Where's the death card? Oh, there it is. And then you're getting animals card, which for me is always about companion energy, unconditional love. It can be about companion animals if you have them. Um, but I really see this as this. There's also like a primal desire here that's being suppressed. Part of the healing of the wounds for intimacy, it's been about sort of suppressing this primal instinct because your instinct is to reproduce. So you are learning how to be more in tune with your physical primal urges, and you're learning that process together. But there's so much loyalty and companionship available to you here. This is Taurus season, so this is just so relevant. Prosperity lies ahead, but it's right now, right? This is not a season that's coming. This is the season that we are in. So there is prosperity here. If you take the blindfolds off, you can see it. Your guidance that you're receiving right now and any guidance you might be giving is divinely guided. So you can trust in what you are hearing and the messages you are hearing. And finally, you're getting chameleon spirit, the protection message, which is act as if. Being sensitive and having empathy for others can become a heavy burden if you don't practice self care. Could it be you're feeling stressed because you've tuned into challenging emotions that aren't even yours? Chameleon spirit does not want you to adapt to these conditions by withdrawing or distracting yourself, hoping the feelings will just go away, or attempting to rescue another who may be having a pity party. You can be swallowed up trying to manage it all. It is time to figure out where you end and the rest of the world begins. Not all conditions are yours to match. You need to distinguish your own color from the rest of the world right now and take time out to soothe your sensitive soul. Choose some activities that will restore your sense of being grounded and avoid people who revel in drama. Take a break from social media too. Self-care and a timeout is the answer to this temporary dilemma. Okay. All right. So, divine feminine, you're doing all right. Divine masculine is struggling a little bit. If divine feminine, you match him energetically, that means you have to start struggling. I don't want you to start struggling. I want divine masculine to have less struggle. So when you go into pity and compassion for him, you have to detach yourself. You have to maintain the Queen of Cups energy, right? Bravely maintain Queen of Cups energy against divine masculine's stubborn attachment right now. But you don't want to match him in this energy of um, fear of intimacy and protecting himself. You are not there. So you have to distinguish where you end and where you begin. Divine masculine has to do the same. He can't get his good feelings from you. He has to get his good feelings from his own internal balance in temperance with divine feminine energy inside of himself, not outside of himself. He cannot rely on your material world interactions to make him feel better. He has to have those things happen spontaneously inside of himself from his own desire to care for himself. All right, let us close out this reading with some Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards to give us information about what we can do this very day to change any of the energy inside of us that isn't serving us at the moment so that we can be able to manifest what it is that we truly desire. One more for the infinite. All right. All right. Divine feminine energy today. You are getting healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction, which is your devil card in reverse. And then you're also getting girl with a snake, which is empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, and able and boundaries. All right. Divine feminine. Obviously, it's 8:44. Obviously, there's healing heart work that's being done because we already saw that in your spread. We saw that your Queen of Hearts is upright in its healing position. We saw you nurturing, being patient with divine masculine. We saw the Four of Cups, meditation, contemplation, and connecting with spirit. So you want to continue this healing of the heart space. What you are healing is your empath and narcissist paradigm. This is a paradigm that you've experienced in the past, and it came from how you were raised. Most likely, it's the inner child wound that you have to address today. Um, Fears about being charmed or used, and how you enact your boundaries. So, today's work is healing from this heartbreak of the past and and continuing to work on freedom from toxic relationships or addiction to the empath narcissist paradigm. Now, this paradigm gets triggered by twin flame union. Absolutely. That's the thing that you're supposed to be triggered here so that you work this out and heal this. So today you just really want to free yourself from this toxic relationship of the empath and narcissist paradigm. You cannot heal divine masculine. It is not your job to heal a specific iteration outside of yourself. You must heal divine masculine energy inside of yourself. But you can't be an empath to a narcissist and accomplish anything. You can't. That person has to heal their narcissism to come towards you, or heal their own empath narcissist paradigm. Most likely they're an empath too. So you're both needing to heal that. Divine masculine, you are getting unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. And you're getting sunglasses in reverse, which is watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. Divine masculine, you're the one who needs to take a break from social media. You are stalking and focusing out because by looking out of yourself at something else and finding solace or comfort there, you don't have to be alone with the oneness of self. You don't have to work on your self love, your unconditional love for this broken down soldier. You're having a hard time loving this guy. When you think about this guy who has to heal from these wounds, it makes you want to focus on anything except for yourself. But today, you really want to stop looking out and stop looking outside of yourself for validation from divine feminine, from anyone else in your life, and focus on the unconditional love that you have towards self that you keep mistaking as love for divine feminine. It's love of your own. What you see in divine feminine is the things that you love about yourself. Those things are inside of you. So you see her and you're like, oh, she's this and she's this and she's this. And it's true. She is those things. But you've only attracted her because of you. You are beautiful feminine inside of yourself. You exude sexuality. You have confidence. You have creativity, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. The bottom of the deck for the both of you is the sword and the rose in reverse. Clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. If you can stop protecting your heart, you will enter into this paradise, which is happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And there's love call there, which is someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. If you can stop protecting yourself from the one you love and just enjoy each other, you could experience that expression of love or a message of love today. And you should also be aware that you're constantly thinking of one another, thinking of you. But there's the potential to let each other know today. If you can work through that empath narcissist paradigm, divine feminine and divine masculine, really focus inward to heal those wounds. Oh my God, I'm so hungry all of a sudden. Oh, when it hits you and you're like, oh my God, I have to eat right now. This just took a lot out of me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, share, click on notifications. And there's in the description box below, there's Patreon if you want to support me so I can keep doing these readings for you every single day. Today is Wednesday, so tomorrow will be a normal reading, and I might do wild card. I kind of do wild card usually like Wednesday, Friday, or I mean Thursday, Friday, somewhere in there. So one of the days might be a wild card spread, but I will be here every single morning for the next 3 days. And then on Sunday, I will be on Instagram Live with Grace Strikeout. So I am very excited because today I get to have an in-person jam session with our drummer that is going to do the drums on our first single that's coming out. So we're going to go rehearse with her today and just jam for like a few hours. Very excited. And her name is Dee Simone, and she's incredibly talented. So I look forward to heading down to her studio south of LA today and being there for a few hours and actually playing live music. It's just for ourselves, but maybe I will go live on Instagram. So if you want to see me messing around later with Andrew Walton, my bass player, and Dee Simone in our rehearsal space, then go follow me, Pearl and the Prayers, on Instagram to be privy to that later. Thank you so much and have the best day today. Take care, everybody.